Hello, my name is Felicia Williams, and I am the founder of Seed to Fruit Education, where we plant seeds that grow exceptional learners. At Seed to Fruit, we are an educational service provider with a focus on assisting teachers, school staff, families, and caregivers connect to resources they need in order to work with individuals who have disabilities or disorders. Seed to Fruit is not only a provider of products, we also provide outreach designed to encourage, strengthen, and enhance its audience. I call these moments planting seeds. This is when I use holistic approaches to solving common problems we face, no matter who we are or where we work. The entire foundation of Seed to Fruit is to provide tools, products, and resources that impact not only your mind, but your body and spirit as well. Our topic today is called, What Are You Worth? Let's look at an infamous painting. This painting was completed by Leonardo da Vinci in around the early 1500s. And what we know of this painting is that it was sold, resold, bought, sold again over the centuries many, many times. And then for a period of time, it was in hiding. No one knew where it was, but then resurfaced again around the beginning of the 21st century. So around 2005, it was then sold at an auction house in New Orleans for roughly around $1,000. And lo and behold, around 2017, it was reported that not only did they find that this Salvator Mundi that had originally sold for $1,000, that it was actually, and thought to be a reproduction, was actually an original. Given these new set of circumstances, that totally changed the value of this painting. In fact, it changed it 400 times its original worth. So at its last auction in New York, it sold for well over $450 million. Mind blowing. Now let's look at another painting. This one is called Ocean Landscape, and it was created by moi, yours truly, in 2023. It was at a paint and sip event that I went to with one of my good friends, and we had a glorious time. So the value of this painting, technically we could say is around $50 because that's what it cost me in order to participate in this painting event. But let's think about this. What if the circumstances changed around my painting? God forbid, if some catastrophic event happened that wiped out all the artwork on the face of the earth except for ocean landscape. What would the value of my painting be now under these new set of circumstances? It would be worth over 1,000,000 times its original value because again, this over a period of time, the set of circumstances surrounding my painting changed and therefore changed the value of my work. Now let's get back to our topic. What are you worth? I'm thinking that this illustration with the paintings was a good way to bring me to this point. Value gets determined by the circumstances of whatever it's in. There is a scripture found in Psalms 139:14, and it goes something like this. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. Now, what does that exactly mean? That may be a familiar phrase to some of you. And others, you're like, well, Felicia, what does that have to do with anything? Let me tell you. When God sees you, our creator, the one that formed and knew us in our mother's belly before we even had conscious thought, when he created us, he found and saw that there was something marvelous growing inside our mother's womb. So marvelous, in fact, that he decided that there was purpose for us and that we fit in this huge puzzle of the human experience somewhere. We were that important so that we could be born and fulfill the purpose that he gave us. So the very fact that you exist is proof positive that you are valuable and that you are worth something to someone, somewhere. Well, how do we connect to that? How do we find out what is our value? What are we worth? Well, I need for you to first determine that your set of circumstances, whether they be dismal, okay, or even great, that they are subject to change. But how they change and what they change to, is all determined on our ability to see the value that we hold. And you know what? When you begin to see your value, that begins to help someone else see their value. There's another scripture in Proverbs, and I believe it's in Proverbs 27, says that iron sharpeneth iron, meaning what we know and what we can do when we lend that to someone else and help them meet their personal best, we are actually sharpening each other. Our value many times is mixed up in helping someone else reach their value. But if you feel that you are of no value, how can you then be of help to someone else, which is indeed only helping your value come out? Sounds like a tongue twister almost, right? But I guarantee you it isn't. I am a teacher by nature and by profession. So when I get in a classroom, my whole purpose begins to shine like a light, even on my most dismal and most frustrating days. You know why? Because whenever I get in a situation that I can help someone else meet their goals or I can instruct them, I now know that that is the light, that is the purpose within me that's going to cause my value to grow greater because I want to help someone else attain their goals, right? Even if you're not a teacher, I bet there is something that you can do that lights you up on the inside. And I promise you, if you focus on that thing, that will probably be your purpose. How do we know God-given purpose? When it lights us up, when it gets us up out of the bed, when we are ready to go, when everybody else is ready to go fall back or go to sleep or give up, we're still trying to press forward and make it happen. That's where your purpose is. And if you are in a circumstance or in a situation where you're not seeing your purpose, then I invite you to first realize that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And second, find an avenue where you can help someone else based off what you're good at. If you're good at organizing and cleaning, maybe you volunteer to help someone else or help an organization do that, organize and clean. If you are good at helping other people, instructing them, giving them pointers, or maybe even inspiring them, maybe you start volunteering somewhere where you can do those things, where you can get better at it. Because we only get better through the process of helping and doing the thing that gives us purpose, right? We get better at it. So I hope today I shared something with you that will motivate you to see what you are worth. You are priceless. You were put here not as a mistake. You're not a throwaway. And just because over the course of the several years or maybe many decades, you maybe haven't been living up to your potential, that does not mean that potential has gone anywhere or doesn't exist anymore. You still have value. And there is still something that God has put in you that needs to get out so that you can help someone else's light to shine. And when you do that, guess what? You're turning on your own light. Thank you so much for spending time with me today talking about value and what we're worth. What I would like for us to do right now is just say this simple phrase: I have value. I have value. I am worth something to somebody, somewhere, in some time, and I'm going to connect to it today. I promise you, if you say either that or something close to it, or maybe even there's a phrase, an inspirational phrase or scripture, maybe even your favorite scripture, put that somewhere like a mirror where every day for the rest of this month, you repeat it to yourself over and over and over again. I bet you will start to feel that your value is increasing. And not only that, because you're saying it and you're putting it out there in the universe, as many people say now, you're putting that confession of faith out there in the universe, in your atmosphere, I bet things will begin to change. And with the change of your circumstances, you will begin to see your value increase, right? So please, I invite you to join me with doing that very thing, saying positive confessions and affirmations to yourself in the mirror every day for the rest of this month. And I promise you something somewhere is going to change and it's going to expose more of your value. Having said that, I want to share with you an event that we're having in the early part of Saturday, February 3rd, in fact. We are going to have a virtual event called Collaborative Connections. It's a series where we're really focusing on soulful solutions. And our first event is going to really talk about healthy habits. There are many of us that we feel less valuable because our body is telling us that it's sick or that it doesn't feel well, it's not operating the way it used to. Well, let's try to turn that conversation around that we keep telling ourselves or our body keeps telling us. Let's change that conversation and find some healthy habits to improve our set of circumstances so that we can improve and see the value that is still there in deep within ourselves, right? So if you're feeling fatigued or drained, you're experiencing any type of difficulty with focusing, or you just are so stressed, you don't even see where you can be blessed, I really want you to click on that QR code with your phone camera and register for this event. It's going to be a good time. We have a great speaker that's going to talk to us, give us some pointers on how to approach this year using healthier habits. Thank you for, again, spending time with me. I invite you to hit that subscribe button or the like button, or share this message with someone else who you think may actually get something out of it. Thank you. And until next time, we'll see you soon.